Yo, hello guys. How's it going? Welcome to stream, everyone. We have some work to do today, turns out. Hope everyone had a wonderful start to the week. I'm doing good, yeah. I just got home. I was away last week, and then I was here for like around the day, and then I was away again. Actually, I was here for like half a day. I basically just did my stream, and then I stepped into the airplane. Anyway, hi Barset. Thanks for the 42 months, dude. How you doing? What?
They were both inside Mary's cage.
Yeah.
Can you wear them?
Madeline is stealing my shoes. Why are you doing this, Madeline?
He's very happy with them.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Busy booty, yeah. It was actually basically a business trip. I went to Stockholm to visit some game studio. That was fun. Yo, hi Red Dragon Flare. You didn't play the last 3 seasons, so if you didn't play those, then you didn't even play the expansion. So there's a lot of stuff that you missed. Man is a magician, yes. Yeah, I tried like a new game that's likely coming out next year, which seems really cool, but unfortunately I can't really say much about it right now. Alright, I wanted to check this out here. I already like read through this a little bit, but I want to see if there's like some other details that are important that we should like check out here. So in case you didn't see this, we have like a season preview with like half the patch notes or something. We don't have the class changes, but everything else is here. Is it a Diablo-like game? Not exactly, but fun anyway. Is Boulder Druid dead? Nah, Boulder is gonna be a really nice speed farmer. I played a lot in Season 8 actually. And yeah, we have all power nerfs now and stuff. But other than that, Boulder is still really nice. Hello, Donkey Teeth. Okay, let's check out the changes a little bit here. Mostly like a bunch of little season theme changes that don't really do much, I suppose. Yeah. That is kind of interesting, I guess, that we get 8 seconds of deactivating the effects here. Which I guess should just make it more consistent. Because previously, I guess 5 seconds was just not enough to even, you know, have like permanent uptime on some of the, what are they called, catalysts. Hey, Jummy, thank you for the sub as well. Need to finish the current season of Enquiries. Dude, actually, I'm not sure if I still have to do something. I think yes. I think I still need to do the salvage all my gems and then craft the blacksmith caches or something, or the what is it, the ring caches, because you need gem fragments for that. Please tell me Bloodwave Necro is nerfed. We don't know, but it's likely going to be a very strong build anyway. I don't think they're gonna like directly nerf it right now. I mean, Bloodwave is like a relatively terrible build in everything outside of pushing, so I don't think you really have to nerf it much anyway. You know, like it's just like not a great build, I think. So thank you, Roll, as well for the 2 years. Appreciate it, guys. Okay, let's see what else is here. That is like the most irrelevant change of all changes, I guess. The gizmo got changed. And I was thinking about this. And I was trying to find like which build would even run it. And then it basically came down to maybe Blight Necro, and that's like the only build that would have even tried to run this, I guess, right? So the thing is that does this do anything? Counter's lucky hit chance is doubled. I mean, that could be mildly useful for something. But I didn't really feel like the lucky hit was really helping with much. But there could be cases where it actually is like a good combo. Is there an update for Hydra Sorc? Yeah, they most likely fixed the triple Hydra bug, but they buffed the amulet for it. So that should plus minus even it out. Maybe it's like slightly weaker. But Hydra is gonna be very good. Burning Swords could use it as well. Yeah, not really, because you don't want to remove the burning effects when you burn enemies. Because you do more damage the longer they burn. So you don't want to like consume them. And you also have like, I'm not sure what it's called, the aspect that gives you like this giga buff when they are affected by more dots than their life. So they just like, almost instantly die anyway at that point. So Gizmo is just like, it wasn't really a good choice for anyone pretty much. You know, Druids don't even have top builds, Barbs have Rupture, and potentially don't even want to remove their bleeds anyway because of, you know, various buffs and debuffs and want on Rupture, for example. Yeah, so I think it's basically just Blight Necro maybe that wanted this, and I'm not even sure about that. Yeah, Olaris, I guess off the famous. Hello, Silver Surfer. Thank you. Yeah, actually, we've come back on Sunday, and I did like one stream, and then I went away again for like 3 days now, and I just came back. Hello, Noobs PP. We need a new class. Well, do I have good news for you? Have you heard of expansion 2? Me neither, actually. But there will certainly be a new class. Did you say new negative affixes on the image and block hunter and explosive elites? Is explosive elites new? I guess it's just like another like, okay, all elites have that affix and that's it, right? Which is okay. Hunter, I mean, who knows what that is? Maybe it's like Bloodseekers coming for you or something, which should be fun. Hello, Cheese Kitters, by the way. Witch Doctor when? Yeah, I don't think the Witch Doctor is happening, unfortunately. We already have, you know, the Necro, we already have the Spiritborn, and yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. You know, if futures are close, Diablo 5 will come out before Season 20. I think there's absolutely zero chance of Diablo 5 coming before Season 20. Or anywhere before 2030. Like, first of all, you're gonna get, like, probably at least 3 more expansions for Diablo 4. Which means that just those expansions will lead us to 2030. And then comes, like, half a decade of break. And then maybe comes Diablo 5. So this is kind of how it goes. LA killed the CT program for media members. Yeah, I saw that. It's very good. I'm very excited about that, actually. And as a fellow not closed beta tester, it's gonna be very enjoyable to just log in and blast the season and not have to worry. How was the holiday? That was good, but that was last week. I was actually not on holiday now from Monday on. That was a business trip. Witch Doctor would be amazing. I think Witch Doctor would fit very well in Diablo 4, but I think that train has left. You know, that's not happening anymore. Like, you already have 6 classes now. I think the game will not have more than 8 classes. So there is maybe 2 more slots. And I don't think they're gonna make a Witch Doctor. Hi, Gris. We want Assassin back. I mean, we have Rogue. Like, what else are you looking for exactly? I think that's like sufficiently assassin-like. You don't think you're gonna get past 8 classes? No, I don't think so. I mean, we had 7 in D2, we had 7 in D3. And I mean, D4 is a much more complicated game than both of these combined. And needs a lot more, like, you know, sustain and maintenance and, you know, like, and all that, right? So, I don't see a world where they will sustain more than 8 classes in Diablo 4. But who knows? Maybe they will make like, you know, one class every expansion, and they're gonna make like 6 expansions or something, and then we're gonna end up with like 10 classes. Who knows? But I don't really see it happening. So they have enough trouble as is with like the existing classes. And every class they add will just like add, you know, a ridiculous amount of, like, it's not just making the class, it's also like every season needs, you know, every class needs attention, right? So you need like more and more maintenance for the game, for every single patch. That's the biggest problem with adding more classes, you know? It's not just making a class, you know, which is like a ridiculous amount of effort, but also, you know, like it kind of adds more load every time, forever, you know? Oh, Chronix. Hello, man. Nice to see you. How have you been? You don't see how RPGs stay alive getting 140,000 players for 2 weeks every 3 to 4 months? Well, it turns out that the big RPGs get a lot more than that. And, well, I guess people do leave money somewhere. So, it seems to work. Would you rather see a new Diablo or just build on D4 with expansions forever? There's not really a reason, like in WoW, to not make a new game. You know, in WoW we can't make WoW 2 because it's not gonna work, right? People have their characters that have been working on for literally 2.5 decades at this point, or something like that. You know, and you can't just carry everything over and these kind of things. So that's just not happening. But in Diablo 4, it doesn't matter, you know, it's a seasonal game. You know, every 3 months you throw everything away, no one cares. So there's no reason not to make Diablo 5. Even with like the live service model and everything. Like at some point you just need something fresh, you need like a new engine, you need new technology. You know, for example, Diablo 4 is a game that is like, it's like not built on AI technology, for example, at all, right? And you know, this decade is like the decade of AI, right? And like the games you're gonna have in like 5 years from now are going to be insane, you know, in every regard because of that. And Diablo 4 will not be able to kind of keep up with the quality of games that we're gonna have. So at some point they have to make a Diablo 5, and that will have to have new technologies and so on. Just like can make a WoW live and WoW 2. EverQuest did it. Yeah, but I mean, is EverQuest really relevant? At some point in time, the old MMOs stopped bringing new players. Yeah, but I mean, like, WoW is still going very well, right? And now they have all these, like, different versions of WoW as well, with, you know, like, the classic, and, you know, like, the classic, and the, you know, the remix, and whatever they have, right? And there's, like, such a large community. And, yeah, okay, maybe they can actually make a WoW 2 at some point, but if they make a WoW 2, like, you know, making a WoW 2 is, like, it's like a decade of development, you know, to even get started. And then you will maybe carry, you know, like kind of like a little part of the community over to that, because other people will just kind of stay behind and play whatever is their favorite version of WoW, and so on, right? So there's like a massive risk after a massive investment, And realistically, you're not really gonna get very far. Because it's like very fragmented. And you don't really want to fragment it even more, I think. Microsoft got the money to greenlight it. Yeah, they have the money, of course, but will they actually be profitable with it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe, you know, if they reach like a certain X number of million users or something. But yeah, I mean, the risk is gigantic. You know, like MMOs are even worse than ARPGs in terms of development. Like Diablo 4 took like fucking 8 years or some shit. And the PvE too, you know? Like these games take like almost a decade to even get started. You know? Where they earn nothing. And even then, it's like a massive question mark if they will ever be, you know, getting something out of it. So, well, MMOs are even worse, you know? Just thinking about D4 being the definitive title gives me goosebumps. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the world is going to look very different once the next expansion comes out, and then it's going to look very different again once the next expansion comes out, right? Like, there's always going to be expansions, at least for, you know, the foreseeable future. And this means there's always a moment where, you know, everything can shift, everything can turn around, you know, and the game is going to look completely different from one day to the next. So there's always like this, I don't know, let's call it hope, I guess, for Diablo 4 to have like a big shift. And, you know, what we see now is completely different from what we're going to have in like 2 or 3 years from now. Yeah. So, how excited am I for Season 9? I mean, I'm definitely relatively excited because it's going to be like a big Spiritborn season, most likely. So, that makes me excited by itself. And other than that, I mean, Season 8 was pretty good. I played it quite a lot. And Season 9 is like an upgraded Season 8. So, it's gonna be fun, I think. And then E4 went through a lot of like different, like, you know, shifts and stuff in the development. I don't really know like all the details about it since it was like behind the scenes. But yeah, there was a lot of back and forth, which is why the game came out the way it did, I guess. Any new changes on Necro? We don't have class changes right now. That's gonna be on Friday. Quill volley season. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. They just need to do one change and it's not gonna be a quill volley season in any way. So we'll see. And even if they don't make that change, it's not really a quill volley season, so that's fine. Are we archiving all other living goods except Evade? Nope. Thank you. What's that?
Hmm?
What's that?
Chicken with teriyaki sauce.
Thank you. We got chicken, guys. Mm-hmm. Never heard anything from Joe Capiora and Joe Shady. No, last time I heard anything about them, I don't know, it was like maybe half a year ago, and apparently they're still working on the game, but they're not really in the public anymore. But I'm not really sure what's their role now or something. This is the second season in a row that you skip. That is until you feel FOMO from not completing the season journey. Okay, so message received, more FOMO. I'm gonna tell the devs. Have you been doing level testing chronics, by the way? Or what is that about, by the way? I think I'm gonna do a bit of like Spiritborn level testing as well. Maybe not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. I didn't like Season 8, the loot quality was bad, theme was bad. Yeah, I mean, it was harder to get loot and stuff in Season 8. But on the other hand, like, you know, like just the higher difficulty and the slower progression actually made the game more fun, I think. I think it was kind of getting too crazy in Season 7, like everything was so OP. Interesting start connects. What do I think about a Druid unique change? Well, considering that they took 90% one-to-one the suggestions I made, it's pretty good. Good change. I approve. Did I ask to make Druid not fat? I did not ask them to make Druid not fat, no. It's kind of funny how much of a problem that is for a lot of people. I hear that comment so often, like, Druid is fat, this is why I'm not playing it. Okay, I guess. Are Spiritborn pants dead on arrival? No, Spiritborn pants are insane. And Spiritborn, without knowing if they fix the double dipping or not, is looking like by far the strongest class. If they fix the double dipping, then it might still be the strongest class, potentially. So, I think Spiritborn is going to be fine. And he's a very hungry looking dog again. What do you want, man? Hmm? People want to play attractive characters, it's a fantasy game. Maybe some people like fat characters, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really see them making body types and like skinny druid and stuff. Like, I think that is just not happening, but who knows? Maybe they will allow us more customization. How about we call it Spirit Reborn? Blizzard has 2 work to change it. I mean, it's a relatively rogue company, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't mind the druid aesthetics at all. And I think it's actually like a very fitting, like, you know, kind of like cool novelty. But maybe that's just me. You only play rogues and start off with meta, it's going to be Death Trap again? Yes. Rogue is Death Trap again. Death Trap is going to be insane. I mean, it is, you know, weaker than before, but a lot of builds are weaker than before. And Death Trap is still, like, ridiculous, so... Best design is a female rogue. I agree. When do I predict expansion 2? Well, it's season 9 now. So season 10 is October, season 11 is January. So I guess season 12 is the expansion likely. So April. April or July next year maybe. Season 12, season 13 I guess. I'm pretty sure the expansion is going to be out before BlizzCon. BlizzCon is in September. Next year. Seems like they listened to me on this druid weapon. Yeah, they basically took almost one-to-one what I said. And let's see. I mean, it's not gonna suddenly make like Pulverize a super meta build. But it sounds like it's going to be quite an upgrade, at least. And, you know, I'm definitely excited to do some pulverize now. You like to think the character models are based off Blizzard staff members. Maybe. Maybe they have one of their dev team modeling. Crazy Rage is so clunky. Yeah, but there's also ways to play about Crazy Rage and be successful, I think. What do I expect in BlizzCon if the expansion is releasing early? I don't know, really. But I don't think they're gonna hold off on releasing the expansion just because BlizzCon is September or something. Like, they might just, like, you know, do, like, some kind of panels about, you know, the development of the expansion, and then they're probably gonna have, like, some kind of announcements for what is, like, the next season, or maybe the roadmap. You know, like, they had a roadmap, like, a few months ago, so maybe they're gonna do some stuff like that. You know, they can always do something. You prefer more Earth Elemental builds? Yeah, I would also like to see like Fire Druid stuff, man. I was actually expecting in the expansion that we would get more skills and not just one skill per class, and then there would be like an entire like, you know, Fire Druid archetype, you know, with a core skill, with an ultimate, you know, there's like Volcano, there's Armageddon, or I don't know, stuff like that, right? Or the Fissures. I like the Fissures in Diablo 2. Seems you have multiple dot sources this season. I think creeping death aspect could be something. We don't need multiple dots for creeping death. We need multiple CCs. So, especially rogues like creeping death in some cases. But there's not that many dot builds right now on rogue anyway. There's like poison TB and that's it. So, in general, like there's not many poison builds out there. Or like dot builds. Maybe there will be some info and trailer at Gamescom. Wow, Midnight will be shown in August. I think Gamescom is a likely event for expansion reveal. But I don't have any info. And if I had, I couldn't tell anyway. But just, you know, logically, I think Gamescom might be expansion reveal. I mean, last time at Gamescom, Blizzard was present, and they had like a giga booth there with, you know, the expansion. You could play the Spiritborn and all that stuff. They had a really big booth there, so they do take Gamescom pretty seriously. So yeah, I think we're gonna see the expansion announced there, because we had this, there was like this Microsoft event some weeks ago, and there was nothing about Diablo. And I guess the next event is Gamescom probably. You know what I plan for season launch? I'm planning 1 to 60 hardcore, 4-player, 1 hour. Let's see. I need to be a bee like a minute. Yeah, I'm back, guys, sorry. Okay, what did I miss? The best stuff for D4 and expansion 2, not in its seasons. Well, that's also what I expect, to be honest. Anyone play exclusively in Eternal Realm? I don't think there's that many people, but who knows? It could be that like, very casual players maybe actually do that, you know, they kind of like just progress their character slowly, and then they check out the new patches of like all the stuff they have gathered and so on. Could imagine. Can I explain the Druid weapon changes? Okay. So, previously, this weapon sucked ass. Now the funny part is that despite that, it was kind of a side grade to a legendary weapon. Because there was an interesting mechanic where when you overpowered on the polarize that spawned the pool, every hit coming from the pool would then also overpower until it despawned. The problem was it was still very inconsistent because sometimes you wouldn't get that overpower, and also the uptime was not 100%. Now, first of all, we have a higher number. We have a shorter duration, but you can stack the pools now. So I'm not sure exactly what this will mean, but I guess that this means that as long as you're not standing in the puddle, you can spawn a new one. Guaranteed. And you get a guaranteed overpower. So these are actually two things that I suggested to them. To guarantee the overpower and all the overpowers that come from it, because polarize just kind of feels bad when you don't overpower. And this makes it like consistent enough. And you always have the pools when you need them. So yeah, and on top of that, basically I wanted them to kind of like allow us to stack the pools, but you can't just like, you know, stand in the same place and like kind of keep attacking and you have like 20 pools overlapping. That would be kind of wild. So I suggested, okay, make it maybe something like you can't have them on the same spot or something like that. And this is exactly what they've done as well. But basically every time you do that, you're gonna have like, you know, 2, 3, 4, whatever pools out, and then all of them will explode all the time, and they will all overpower. So you kind of have to like kind of start a step around a little bit, and you know, put a pool here, put a pool there, and then you like blast in the middle. So something like that. And that will be pretty powerful actually. I'm not sure exactly how much this will buff the build, but assuming that previously it was like plus minus the same as a legendary, now I would imagine that the build is something in the range of 2, 3, 4 times more powerful. So that is a pretty big upgrade. But yeah, it's not gonna be like, you know, the #1 build out there, but it's gonna feel pretty strong, I think. Yeah, polarize is pretty solid speed farming thing. The thing is here that we don't have shockwave interaction. This is kind of like a sad thing. I feel like polarize is a lot about shockwave, and I also said, okay, please make it work with shockwave or something, but it seems like that didn't happen. Or maybe it did, and it's just not mentioned here. Maybe you actually get like double pulses or something from the shockwave. That would be cool. Because I kind of like the shockwave. And it's like kind of the identity of the build. On the other hand, there is something mentioning pulverize radius increase, which currently does not exist. Which sounds like you're gonna get a new temper for this. So even if you don't have the shockwave, at least you're gonna have a massive pulverize anyway. So it's probably fine. But yeah, this does not currently exist. So I guess we'll see what exactly happens here. Either it's gonna run shockwave or not. Maybe it does run shockwave because it interacts with this thing. But the shockwave is not increased in radius, only the polarize itself. I don't know. So we'll see. But either way, this is kind of like a detail in the end. So the build, you know, I have the build already for this basically. The only thing I would have to add is the polarize tempers, and who knows, maybe they're gonna do some other surprise changes, but I doubt it. Thanks Quigs, by the way, for the 8 months, dude. Any plan to create a tournament for Season 9? Yeah, if anything, we should have done it for Season 8, huh? When we had the bosses for the first time and so on, right? I was actually thinking about that, but then I kind of, got very busy blasting LE and PoE and so on, and we still have the general problem that it's very hard to moderate any kind of competition in Diablo 4. So, we don't have SSF, and we don't really have an API, we have nothing. Like, it's very difficult to do any kind of event that is, like, in any way fair, at least. No endgame dog leave. Well, they did not really explain what they changed exactly with like the Nightmare Dungeon escalation and so on. And the patch notes here don't really say much about it, so I do hope that we hear something about it in a campfire. How looks the mage Necro? OP. The mini Necro isn't really strong. I tried it a bit as well, and yeah, it's like it's gonna blast pit 100 plus. Did it say if the modified as enemies are permanent since the changes are permanent? I'm not sure which one you mean. Are we ever gonna get a cow level? Yeah, we will, I think. I mean, we have like a lot of build up towards the cow level already, right? We're gonna get it at some point. What do I think of Meteor Sorc? Apparently it's one of the better builds for Sorc, as far as I know. Hello, Wizik, by the way. Okay, let me go through some of the other changes here while they added. But either way, I'm definitely gonna make a polarized druid. So I'm definitely gonna try this. It might be my second character or something. I'm probably gonna start like a Spiritborn, blast to, I don't know, Paragon 200 or whatever. And then I'm gonna load up a polarized druid, I think. It's gonna be fun. And the thing is, from here, it's very easy to go to, like, a boulder druid, for example. Boulder druid is gonna be pretty good. And so on, so. The Palace of Poison seems interesting. Yeah, I really wonder how it's gonna feel. I'm gonna think about like hardcore PvP tournament since. If anything, we would probably do that at end of season. Like, you could do it like this weekend or something. Just like load up the hardcore characters and just, PvP until everything is dead. I should probably do that. Then you get rid of my characters anyway. But I think I'm gonna wait until patch notes before I do this, because I might have to test something with my existing characters before I kill them. Yeah, here this was the they killed this like perma teleport build. To be honest, it was not very fun. Like, you might have seen these clips of like people like giga teleporting around with the necromancer and stuff, but it was really clunky, really inconsistent, I felt. And people say they're nerfing the fun, but honestly, I found it very unfun. It was so inconsistent that you had like no control, and sometimes it worked really well, and it just like kind of like flicker around, and other times it was just like stop, and then you're kind of just sitting there. So, good riddance, to be honest. That's a kind of interesting change. It's a pretty strong buff. It's just like made a new gem here. Is there any changes for dungeon escalation? Well, we know that there's new affixes and stuff, but besides that, we don't really know what they changed. I think the nerf to the Spiritborn pants was significant. well, they halved the damage of that build. But when you think about it, halving the damage is 3 pit tiers. And Spiritborn was way above everything else. And as long as they don't do like any massive changes for the class in other ways, it will remain by far the strongest. So, you know, three tiers is not that much when you think about it that way. I think the jury reapplies during stagger. It sounds like it should, yes, Matthias. So it's gonna be a beautiful world for rogues where you stagger once, you stagger twice, you stagger 3 times. The boss survives with 20%, and you need like another 5 minutes to do that. Because we lean even more into that now. Oh god. But yeah, it definitely sounds like this should trigger again on a stagger, right? There's a teleport rune in the game. Yeah, Jar rune goes in like every build of mine, pretty much. At least for like, you know, T4 and stuff. 2 traps count as physical. Poison trap is poison, and shadow, death trap is shadow. And Caltrop can do physical, but Caltrop doesn't really do any damage. But yeah, I mean, in general, we're gonna have basically a lot of the Barb builds, you know, it is really good for Barbs. Some stuff on Rogue. I mean, some stuff on Druid as well, I guess. Boulder. Actually, no, Boulder is now poison these days. And Pulv is also largely poison these days. So you have Landslide, which is like a physical build. But not necessarily because of Rabid Bear. Right, it converts everything to poison. What else? I guess... Wait, no, not really, right? Necro? I was thinking about Bone builds on Necro, but... At least Bone Spear is also a shadow build now. So it's basically Bone Spirit. What else? I mean, a lot of stuff on Barb will not necessarily run this, actually. Yeah, okay, for farming, I guess you can do this very easily, because you just apply it, you kill the stuff, it's fine. But when it comes to like higher end builds, you will not apply this anymore often enough, especially on bosses. It will just not apply this, basically, right? So I was thinking about, like, you know, a lot of builds run the Ugly Bastard Helm on Barb, and it's going to be fire damage. So I think that will remain the same, even with this in the game. Leveling up Rogue with Death Trap, with Death Trap Nice, will be the best. I mean, they did nerf Dance of Nice leveling a bit. So it's not like the undisputed king anymore of leveling. Flurry is pretty good. If you like to play Flurry, you can do that. You can do Dance of Nice. Like, they're both, like, basically S tier territory when it comes to leveling. If you get, like, 1 or 2 aspects for Flurry, you're gonna be flying. You intrigued how they plan to add polarized radius size? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a temper. We're gonna have some pretty big polarized, I think. I think there's a power set they're going to keep. What do you mean with that? Is there any other builds here for other classes? Actually, tier list. I mean, Sorc doesn't have physical. Yeah, the Earthquake builds, I guess, they are physical, right? At least Minion Barb. Like, literally can't run Ugly Bastard Helm. I'm not sure about the other Earthquake builds, what they will go for. Yeah, Rogue has some physical stuff, but not much. Like, this is not physical, this is not physical. Flurry is physical, I guess. So Flurry will profit from this new gem. No. 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 Maybe. No. And then Okay, I guess Spiritborn actually has a bunch of physical stuff. There's like the Thorn Sphinx. There's Crushing Hand. There's Payback, which is currently archived. We don't have it here, but Payback's gonna land somewhere like here or so. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff there. Shred is physical, I think. Landslide. Blood Surge. Blood Lance. Yeah, okay, there's actually a bunch of builds that actually care about this gem, I'd say. Summon Necro. True. But Summon Necro is probably kind of starved for gem slots already. Because they have like the summon gem, right? So. But maybe he's going to run this anyway. What's the possibility of a good build using the Druid weapon? It's going to be pretty good, I think. Touch of Death is not physical. Ah, they actually buffed the summon thing here. After you injure or kill an enemy, your summons are empowered, growing largely in 50% more damage. That's kind of big. And it's kind of shitty on bosses, but I mean the other gem is also shitty on bosses. It seems like they really want us to not kill bosses. Oh man. That's a nice change, I think. Exile needs to get its Spiritborn evade leveling build out. Yeah, Chronix is working on it already. We're definitely gonna have evade leveling. I wonder what this is gonna be like now. So they nerfed this a little bit. I mean, okay, whatever. It's actually not such a strong gem, to be honest. I mean, the Unhindered is nice for some classes, like I guess Necros like this, for example. It's kind of like nice to have, but nothing really crazy if you compare it to some of the other gems. But the main thing is you get like the extra progression here, right? But it says you spawn at specific intervals. So I wonder what that means exactly. Yeah, there's not really like any updates, so we don't really know what they changed exactly. Okay, I do know that they changed the timer. I saw that changed the timer on the Herodic Strong Rooms. It's like 100 seconds now, instead of 120 seconds. Which is still fairly long, to be honest. But okay. Why do they include next to useless gem powers? I don't know, I mean there's a lot of like useful gems here. There's not really many gems where I'd say they don't have any use at all. Like which one do you think is useless here? I think the gems are relatively good. It's more like the spellcraft stuff where there's a lot of useless stuff, I think. What class will dominate season 9? Spiritborn. Unless they nerf Jackhall, which I think is relatively unlikely. They already nerfed the Pants, which tells me that they probably didn't nerf the Jackhall. So. Yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of Spiritborn next season again. It's been a long time since a lot of people played it anyway, since like season 7, season 8, people mostly played other stuff. And now Spiritborn is like really strong. So, at least the way it's looking currently. I wonder how many bosses they put here. On the PTR there was only Blood Bishop that appeared after the Strong Room every time. And now it's gonna be Blood Bishop, And Tomb Lord. Quill Thorns. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 separate Balazan-based builds. So it's gonna be Quill, Rake, and Thrash. And I'm not 100% sure if Quill or Rake will be better. But I guess we'll see. So yeah, you have like 3 relatively different feeling builds there, even though they're all based on the same item. And after that, you also have a bunch of like other pretty solid builds on Spiritborn. So, and you have Evade. You know, Evade is like insane leveling and early progression and like Paragon farm and so on. So you know, Spiritborn is going to be like very good at like all the speed farming stuff with various builds. High Danger, by the way. It's one of our Druid guys on Maxwell. Wait, who's doing the Polarized guide, Danger? Okay, on leaving a stronghold will be given one of the following buffs or completing a stronghold, which will last until the end of the 9th dungeon. Check which to see which one you've earned. Checking the active buffs on your bar. Dude, if there's no pop-up that tells me, like, in my face, you earned this buff, that's kind of weak. But I guess you can see, like the icon at least, right? Or can you? Okay, XP, reputation, opticides, gold, files. I mean, it all sounds relatively nice, so... Besides this, I don't really believe in that, but okay. Sir Boiler, okay. We need an evade emote. Good idea. The Experience was nice on PTR. I mean, this didn't exist on a PTR. I guess you're talking about the Nightmare Dungeon sigils with the globes. Which is actually very good for 1 to 60 leveling, yes. So this is gonna speed up leveling really, like, a lot. Are we going to review the build this weekend? Yeah, of course, you know, right after the campfire we're gonna get patch notes and then we get to work, basically. So, I'm just gonna, like, you know, check the patch notes and then start blasting guides. But we have like 1 day less than usual. It's already kind of tight most of the time with like, all the Maxwell updates and so on. Most likely top builds for Rogue in Season 9. Death Trap is by far the best. And then you have like a bunch of like Azurath based builds on TB and Penshot. You have like Poison TB. You have Poison Trap. Yeah, that's kind of it. Why is it 1 day less? Because usually the patch notes are on Thursday and not on Friday. So this time it's Friday, so I have -1 day. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna like season start and invade Spiritborn as well. Gonna fly. How did Death Trap on PTR go on PTR? They didn't change anything about cooldown. What did they change? They mostly nerfed overpower and the pants. And I think they're gonna buff back the pants a little bit. Because right now we're not actually running Ice in the Dark. Which is very backwards. So I expect they're gonna buff Ice in the Dark, maybe nerf the skill a bit or something to kind of keep it even or so. Poison Polarize sounds fun. Yeah, I think that's gonna be cool. I'm definitely gonna make Polarize as one of my early builds. Before they put a cooldown on it? No. You can still spam Death Trap. I wonder if they're gonna keep this actually like forever, because they said it's like a permanent feature now with like, you know, 9 dungeon escalation and so on, right? And then we're just gonna fight like Astaroth every 3 runs or something. Doesn't actually say how many runs it is here. Yeah, I managed to find a way through all three, so they did not actually add more layers or something, which I think is kind of sad to think about. I was hoping that would, like, you know, maybe randomize how many, you know, how many levels deep you go or something like that, you know, or something like that. A bit like Visions in Diablo 3. I think they could have taken some inspiration there and kind of like, you know, like just ramp it up more. Because I think that works really well in D3 and it would work even better here. Hello, Eclipse. The day Hydra becomes viable, you come back to D4. Boy, do I have good news for you. You should mark next Tuesday on a calendar. They clearly can release patch notes. This article is proof. Who knows? Maybe they're still like finalizing it and stuff. Any good bow builds coming? We have Azarath based Penshot. That's pretty solid. I played a bunch on the PTR. And I mean, you can do the same with Barrage, which is a bit weaker than that, but also works. Yeah, next season's on Tuesday. There will be undocumented buffs and nerfs. Yeah, there's always undocumented stuff. But most of the time, the patches are relatively complete. But it's just like sometimes we don't really see the full picture. Like, for example, the Druid change here, right, with the weapon. Like, we can't really predict now exactly how it's gonna be. And like, you know, I kind of know in my mind what it's gonna look like, but I don't know exactly, like, okay, how big are the puddles? How does the overlap work? And so on, right? So, will it be 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe 5 that they can overlap? Who knows? So, that will be like a bit of a question mark, but either way, it's gonna be pretty strong, I think. And, you know, other stuff like that, so we'll see. Have they made Infernal Hordes an actually fun roguelite mode yet? Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be actually fun or roguelite, but there is an Infernal Hordes update in, well, 3 months, I guess. So we'll see. Splish Splash, yes. Poison Twisting Blades with a new gem. The new gem? Which one? Yeah, realistically, I don't really expect them to make Infernal Hordes a lot more interesting than it is. But who knows, maybe I'm gonna be surprised. I would really like to see like an actual like roguelite, like you know, like feature in Diablo 4. I think it could do some cool stuff. But I would like to see like a kind of like a major feature, you know, like an expansion, like new kind of, you know, big feature, you know, and not just some, okay, we took Infernal Hordes and you know, did some stuff. Like if they're doing an Infernal Hordes update on the level of the Nightmare Dungeon Escalation update, and this is supposed to be the roguelite, yeah, no thank you, you know. So the one that stacks a lot. That is a relatively slow stacking effect, so it's basically only for like high-end push or something. Hordes is the only reason to play D4. Yeah, I mean, if you like to stand in the middle and just have monsters run at you and you blast them down, yeah, I guess it is fun. I can understand why some people like Hordes. Personally, I don't like it that much, but it's alright to do for a bit at least. Seems like they're gonna put major improvements in game systems behind expansions. I mean, they're not that shy to do like some big shakeups, even in seasons, you know, like for example, season 8, you know, just brought us like a big difficulty revamp, right? And the progression changes and so on, so Sometimes they do that. But yeah, I also expect that, you know, the expansion, obviously, you know, they need to sell the expansion somehow, right? So they're gonna put the really big stuff there. It makes sense. So, and also, like, you know, the expansion is like an opportunity to kind of like change many things at once, right? Where in a season, you know, like with like the few month cycle I have, even if they prepared in advance already, like, you know, you can't really do like this whole, you know, holistic approach to changing everything at once. And in an expansion you can. So Infernal Hordes are way too repetitive, everyone is the same. Yeah, I really hope they're gonna add some cool stuff there. I mean, you're gonna know in like, I don't know, 1.5 months or something, right? When the next PDR comes out, what it will do with Infernal Hordes. If only they had different arenas, circle, square, triangle, anything. Nah, I think we definitely need something, you know, if they don't make like multiple levels you go through with Infernal Hordes and stuff like that, if they just kind of keep this room, I think that would be okay. But at the very least, I would like to see kind of like more action, you know, more like, you know, you click on the spoons and they're actually like really impactful, and the banes as well, right? And, you know, like a little bit like a Vampire Survivors light or something, you know. Like nothing really matters outside of like, okay, you get like a little bit more or a little bit less of uh, the Ember or whatever it's called, you know, like the rewards. But, you know, gameplay wise, like you don't really care. Garlic. Any important changes on heroic stuff? Well, there's like a physical gem, which is relatively good for some builds, I guess. They removed the, like, you know, Giga Teleport, Season Power combo. They removed the Shatter bug. That's it, basically. You always max out garlic first. Actually, I need to play some Vampire Survivors at some point. Again. Gizmo got changed. Yeah, but I mean, who cares? There's like not really any build I can really think of that actually cares that Gizmo got changed. So it's fine. They removed T-Death from hardcore, true. But that's a good change, I think. How do I feel about EHG implementation of the Woody rule? No more test servers. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of that change. And as a fellow not closed beta tester, I think it's gonna be very fun to just like log in and, you know, explore the season with everyone. So I guess there's still a problem that last Epoch, compared to the other games, has an offline mode. So now people are kind of like incentivized to, like, you know, like do everything in offline as soon as the season launches and stuff like that. So it would not be a bad idea to maybe have like, I don't know, at least like a 1-day delay or something on the offline content, potentially. Just so people can actually, you know, season start and play with everyone else on the season start, and, you know, like you blast together, right? So they port at least LE over to Nintendo Switch too. I mean, right now LE doesn't even have like a console version, right? So I think this is like something in the future. Hello, Alexander, I'm going fine. What's the second best class because you don't have Spiritborn? Good question. I mean, there's like Spiritborn, and then there's like everyone else, I would say. The way it's looking right now. I'd probably recommend Rogue as a second. Like, Death Trap is just really strong. But if you don't have Spiritborn, you don't have runes. So I don't really know by heart right now how much you're gonna lose for every build if you don't have runes. But I guess Death Trap is gonna be fine. Which class is going to be S tier? Not Druid. And outside of that, probably every class will have an S tier build, I guess. TB is back. TB is pretty solid for sure. But it's not Death Trap. Correct's giving me hope, man. Puddler Rise, that's a funny name. Yeah, I mean, I think Polarize is gonna be good, but it's not gonna be like, you know, the top level or something. Yeah, I tested Sorc a bit on a PDR. I did the Hydra stuff. Hydra is looking really good. And, I mean, there's like a few other builds as well that are okay on Sorc, so it's gonna be fine. There's a Flash Render build that cleared 100. Yeah, I saw that. Flash Render, man. The best Druid build. Fucking shout. It's not even like the Singer Druid, really, right? They use like, they use Bulwark now, I believe. Don't underestimate our ability to find bugs. True. Cold TB and cold imbue is not really a thing these days. The thing is, like, we have basically no combo point builds besides Rapid Fire, which is like the worst of basically all the Rogue builds. You know, like Rapid Fire is like number 12 on Rogue out there or something. So that's like the only kind of combo point synergy build. And then, yeah, that kind of sucks. So you don't play Cold Imbue because you just can't sustain Cold Imbue, that's the thing. Like, there's no build that has enough charges for Cold Imbue. Is that Azarath? Okay, you're talking about Azarath Cold TB. Okay, I thought you mean Imbue, but yes, Azarath is a big thing on Rogue next season. So you can play Azarath on TB, very strong. On Penshot, also very good. Kind of okay on Barrage. But it's like by far the best version of Penshot to play with Azarath. It's like kind of a side grade, maybe slightly better for TB. There's Poison TB, there's Azarath TB. They're pretty even, pretty good. Yeah, but Penshot for sure Azarath. Barrage for sure Azarath. How did Rapid Fire fall so much? I mean, there's multiple issues. Like, combo point builds just kind of generally lost a lot, but Rapid Fire is still played with combo points. Or like, they didn't really lose much, but like, the other builds gained a lot. Like, preparation builds, just, you know, you get like the second wind stuff, and a lot of synergies, and, you know, you can technically play Rapid Fire with preparation, but it's also the problem that, for example, if you play this with Shadow Clone, the Shadow Clone doesn't actually aim properly, and he just kind of like misses half the shots. So that is like a major issue with Rapid Fire. And yeah, combo points is just like not really strong these days because you have a lot of other stuff and so on. Yeah, I played a bit of the Azarath stuff on the PTR Wonka, so if you want to check my old streams. Otherwise, I'm also gonna put out some videos on that. It's gonna be pretty nice. Maybe other build got power crept. Yeah, basically. It's kind of funny because Rapid Fire used to be by far the best on Rogue for some seasons, you know? Back in like, when was it, season 4, I think? Or whenever the ring came out. You know, Rapid Fire was insane, right? And yeah, now it's like the reverse. Now Rapid Fire is actually at the bottom. This is how much we power cut everything. Rapid Fire was fun to play. I agree, actually. Common Point Rapid Fire had a nice flow, I think. because it was like so many hits. He always shot 20 arrows, so you always had like very consistent damage output. You know, like you did like 1, 2, 3 core points, and then rapid fire, and you would do exactly that amount of damage, right? Because it just like averaged out so well with those 20 hits. And you know exactly on that pit tier, I can one-shot an elite every single time, you know? I kind of felt good about it. Death Trap Rogue still valid. Yeah, Death Trap Rogue is going to be really strong. This is not the full patch notes, it's like half the patch notes. The rest will be on Friday. With Flurry a push of Cold Imbue, but the new Fistula might change that. Do you really sustain the Cold Imbue? That's kind of insane. Especially during the push. When you also have like low stagger uptime and so on. How's main Barb looking for Season 9? Barb is fine. It's mostly Earthquake based though. So Earthquake remains at the top. It got a bit nerfed, but still solid, I would say. Outside of that, I mean, you have like the new basic stuff, which makes Lunging Strike actually a really good T4 build. So that is like flying. Core skills are still down bad though. We're not calling Polarized Puddle Bear. The Puddlerize. That's kind of funny. Ten chances of golden beer. I know. Maybe you can sustain it, but it seems very inconvenient. Maybe for try hard push, it's okay. But I kind of doubt it's like much better than just like face rolling with physical. Like how much are we talking here? Maybe a tier. I guess for push that matters, but would I bother? Probably not. Puddlerize. I like it as well. But I'm just actually gonna rename it. I did notice here that this thing is now a legendary sigil, but I wonder if that actually means anything. Or it's just like every escalation sigil is just legendary. And that's it. They have like their own icons now at least. I guess they're just like always legendary. Right. Like, is there gonna be like magic and rare? I don't think so. I wonder if they nerfed the experience globes. They're like really strong for leveling at least. Like 1 to 60. They're insane. Falls and new uniques getting reworked in some way except Flurry Helm. They did buff the Flurry Helm, they just forgot to add a blue color. The Flurry Helm is now 70% extra damage instead of 50. So they actually made that build a little bit better. And I mean, they nerfed the Spiritborn pants. Rightfully so, I guess. And yeah, what else? Yeah, they buffed the. I mean, it didn't really rework much, right? They buffed the Hydra amulet, which is okay. For some reason, I don't know why, but they buffed the minion glove on a Necro, and that surprised me. Right, is this one here. And this is actually a pretty significant buff. So 50% reduced time between the shattering hit, which gives them like a lot more AoE. Okay, maybe it's not such a crazy buff because the single target didn't change, I guess. Now it becomes snowball, yeah, whatever, I guess, and yeah. But either way, this was already really good. And I guess this is gonna, like, you know, skew it further towards you have to use this, and you cannot really play the, you know, non-mage minion that much anymore. Because right now it seemed like it was kind of even between running this and just, you know, with the other skeletons. But this kind of, like, you know, pushes it further in that direction. You can't even fight Harbinger of Hatred. Yeah, I mean, this is like kind of a general problem, right? They need to, like, add some sort of better targeting, better AI and whatever, so it's pretty awful. I also noticed that when I played with this on a PTR. Yeah, it's a strong build. It's like a very comfy, like, you know, kind of like brain-off build. But then when you go into, like, any kind of, like, difficult content, and you don't just one-shot everything, then these mages just kind of, like, do fuck all. So I think about the Druid Mace now. Seems like a very strong upgrade. I would love to see a polarizer that makes the same thing as Barb chest space, make things explode like that. It's a little bit like that, I guess. The mini AI guy left the team. Unlucky man. Hello, Dread, by the way. They buffed the Barbarian boots a little bit, but not the damage. So I wonder if they actually, like, reworked other things to, like, boost those builds a little bit. But at least Lunging Strike is going to be a pretty nice build. So it's something I might play. Yeah, this is definitely the biggest upgrade here to all of the uniques. Like, compared to what it was before, this is, like, you know, 5 times better now. The others, okay, they got, like, a little bit better. Like, you know, this is definitely a bit of an upgrade. I'm not sure how easy it is to cap out the attack speed, but it will help. This is a massive upgrade, because you can masterwork that as well. You can get to, like, you know, 6-7 ranks of Paragon binding now on your neck, and it's kind of nuts. Is that actually the second unique amulet for Sorcs that has Paragon binding on it? Right. They really like giving Sorcs these, like, unique summoning, like, amulets, right? Yeah, he has also 2 to 4 ranks, actually. Holy, that's a lot of ranks. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be less than that, though. But then the Devouring Blaze was effectively useless, and this was also effectively useless, because the dot version is much stronger than the crit version. So even on the PTR, where we had these crit buffs, it was probably at least 5 or 10 tiers difference. And now it's even more, you know, balanced towards the dot version. So it's just a dot build now, basically. Like, there's no question. Okay, so that didn't change here. Did it change something on dungeon escalation? I mean, they added some affixes and stuff, but the general system is not really changed, it seems. Well, it seems to be the rogue's strongest build is Death Trap. Okay, Spiritborn Pants halved, which is fine, I think. That's okay. Ah, here's the loot table, actually. Dude, Urival gets 4 of the new items, man. Oh my god. Like, why do they make these loot tables so fucking large, dude? I don't like that at all. Like, Urival is just like an insane clusterfuck of items now, right? It's like... Gonna start Rogue and then build a Druid after that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start Spiritborn and then do a Druid as well. That's my second. And then the Rogue maybe as a third or so. I mean, Rogue, yeah, I would definitely be up to play some TB, I think. I might just do a TB Rogue, and maybe then do some Death Trap at some point. TB or Pen Shot. I mean, Pen Shot is also kind of nice. It's gonna be fun to do some Pen Shots. It's been so long since I actually really played Pen Shot. Is Maxwell getting updated with PTR live? I mean, we have the PTR stuff, but you know, the changes that we see now, they will be only when the game actually goes live and we can data mine. I mean, we're gonna update the guides, you know, as soon as the patch notes drop on Friday. So, like, during the weekend, you're gonna see most of the updated guides. But the planner will be on Tuesday. Uriva is at least a quick and easy fight. Yeah, that's true. But I just generally don't like that they have so much overlap with the loot tables. Like, you know, also, like, they didn't do any changes to, like, boss loot in general. Like, you know, like, it was really awful in Season 8. Like, this is really one thing I hated about Season 8. Like, we had to do way too many bosses. Because they nerfed the chances for unique, for ancestral uniques, basically, in Season 8. And this made us just farm bosses so much to get, like, anything. And on top of that, you know, they're inflating the tables for each boss as well. And we have this, like, 50-50 of, like, you know, boss loot and random loot. So there's, like, so much random shit you get. And you have a very low chance for ancestrals. Sometimes you kill the boss, like, 5-6 times and you don't see a single ancestral. You know, the only guy that has some kind of decent loot is Belial. But you barely get to farm Belial unless you buy some mods. And, well, at least in hardcore, that's not really a thing, but, you know, even in softcore, I guess, you know, you farm that up and whatever, right? So, yeah, if you, like, just buy infinite amount of Belial mods, you're gonna be okay. But if you don't do that, it's just fucked. You know, for anyone who wants to actually farm those bosses, and kind of, like, you know, do, like, the whole, like, you know, procedure of, you kill Vashan, you kill Duriel, you kill Belial, you just don't get Belials. At all, basically. And Belial's the only guy that is, like, first of all, you can insta-kill him, and second of all, he actually has loot. And the other guys don't. So it's kind of awful. The increased ancestral loot chance. Well, yeah, in higher torments, there's going to be more chance for more GAs, right? Did I get that right? Or was it just... Oh, was it also just like more chance for ancestral? Maybe. Yeah, I guess that will be noticeable, but I'm not really sure what are the numbers. I have no idea how much they buffed it. We're losing the increased spawn rate from the ashes. Oh, true, that was like 80% extra, right? So we had almost double the amount of Belials, actually, in Season 8 than we did in Season 9. Yeah, so... I'm just like Belial's just trap does not exist if you don't trade. Basically. Thank you, Wood, by the way. Appreciate the 6 months. You have double the chance in 0.00001. Yeah. Am I coming to Japan? You remember a few weeks ago I had these conversations? I will be coming to Japan, but probably next year. Actually, I'm gonna make some plans, but yeah. They buffed the XIGA drop chance per tier. In the past, they've always been 1 to 10. Yeah, I wonder how much they buffed it. I wonder if, like, you know, it's like a lot. Or if it's like, you know, okay, maybe it goes from 1 in 10 to 1 in 5 on Torment 4. I mean, that would already be something. But for example, for the uniques, it didn't really feel like it's a 1 in 10. I don't know. Dupe saving the default design. Yeah, it's true, man. Like, if Season 8 didn't have, you know, duping and RMT, like, people would be out with their fucking pitchforks, man. Like, the only reason why Season 8 actually went relatively well is because of that. If they fix it and they don't do any changes, man, it's gonna be a disaster. Like, it's gonna be insane. Like, people don't realize how little loot you get. Because you just have an infinite Belial mods, right? You just, buy a stack of Belial mods, you kill them 50 times. Oh, you didn't get it? Sure, I'll get another stack. Like, I had not even a stack of Belial mods the entire season. I didn't even finish a stack of Belial mods. And I killed like 1,000 bosses, okay? That this is how it goes. So I wonder if they tweaked it somehow behind the scenes, at least, or something. Because, yeah, people are just not gonna get it in loot. Like, these uniques. You're gonna farm so much these fucking bosses, man. They really should throw in, like, some kind of, like, last-minute buff if they haven't already, I guess. Expansion 2, you mean Expansion 6 will fix it, guys. Don't worry. Cope. Okay, so which bosses do I actually farm here? Balazan's a max to Luttle on Marshan, guys. So keep that in mind. And Urivar. So at least it's easy to get, actually. What about the Lightbringer? Also Marshan. And also Urivar. Nice. So they just took like the Beast in the Eyes and the Varshan items and put them both on Urivar, and that's it. Very cool. And then you have 3 times the same bosses here for the Necro and the Sorc. Okay. So this is Barb, Rogue, Druid, Spiritborn, Necro, Sorc. Okay, I see a pattern. Mid-season patch when everyone is done, they will buff it. Yeah, mid-season patch is not really a thing anymore though. The Belial mods already could have been something they fixed in a patch, why didn't they? Maybe they didn't consider it a problem, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think it's okay that there is like Belial and you kind of feel good about getting him and then you get the mods, right? Like there is something to that kind of makes sense. But the problem is that it's very unreliable, very low chance, and you can't really target farm the other bosses to get the stuff that you want, You kill like 200 Varshans and then maybe you have like, one of the items with the right GA, like 1 GA, And even then you have like the, the RNG of, okay, what are the rest of the rolls, right? And in some cases, especially on uniques, there's like really large ranges of those effects. So it's just like, it's like so much boss farming. We just do way too many bosses. That's the problem, Like you get spammed with the boss mods and then you have to farm the bosses like 100 times, 200 times, 300 times. And then you're done with that boss and go to the next boss and kill him 100 times. And then go to the next boss and kill him 100 times. Yeah, and out of that comes like, 10 Belials maybe. And okay, there is like a relatively decent chance to get like a specific item when you do those 10 Belials. And then you invest it all into like the same boss drops. But it's like, very slow and it's just like boring. That's the problem. Did I change anything with no ore power, no damage? Somewhat for some builds. So at least the builds that don't usually lean into ore power, without like extra, class synergies, they will have a bit of like a more reliable damage output. But for example, some stuff like Pulverize, for example, that actually has like built-in overpower synergies, it's definitely like that. It's like no overpower means no damage. He quit last season because he couldn't get Bloodsearch Gloves of GA aspect. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle, I think. I think it's fine as like a chase of items and it's like hard to get certain things, but it just kind of feels bad to kill the boss like 100 times over. Like I would rather just have minus 90% boss mats, kill the boss 10 times, but get like, 10 times the chance to get the item I want, right? Like just like more ancestrals and you know, a higher chance maybe to multiple GAs or something like that. So they could even buff the bosses, you know. I wouldn't mind if it's just like triple the HP of all the bosses as well while they're doing this, you know. At least they have a bit of a fight, but you know, it's like a few times and you're done, and that's it. You get the item. Yeah. We just killed way too many bosses. It's definitely like the biggest problem with the entire gameplay loop, I think, in D4 right now. It's just too many bosses. People will quit after 2 days since there's nothing to do. Yeah, I think they should kind of keep it similarly difficult to get the item you want. But I want to do less bosses. I want to do other stuff, you know? This one is nice, I gotta say. That's a really cool pet, I gotta say. But it's on the battle pass, right? So you probably can't get it for free. That's the deluxe battle pass, okay. Anything here? Dante. So there's a free pet. Is this the Heroic Vials? Or what is that? Improve the Paragon glyph to rank 45. So they specifically end before you make it a legendary glyph. It's kind of weird. Okay. Hello, pardon. Okay, so what are the season blessings? Yeah. Second item from gambling. That's relatively strong. Extra glyph upgrades. Okay. The chance of finding additional gear in Adastaros rewards. I kind of feel like this is like irrelevant as fuck. And so is this, I think. Like, I don't think that, at least on the PTR, I felt like it got a lot of this stuff. Because you can actually get like a 9-dimensional affix where it has like extra files and stuff. And you get a lot of this, I think. And realistically, you don't need much of it because you're not gonna boost that many of those season powers. It's gonna be like, you know, 3 Arcana, 1 Catalyst, 1 Infusion. And for most builds, that's it. Or even for most classes, that's it. And you don't really change that much, I think. So this seems like whatever. And this probably also whatever. This is good. That's okay, I guess. And yeah, this seems to also be useful though. But I wonder if they changed it so that the escalation sigils don't reroll the affixes. Like on a PTR, every time you had an escalation sigil, you completed 1 run, it would get completely new affixes. And the stuff that he started with was not there anymore. Which was kind of stupid, you know? Like, yeah, you get more affixes, but they're completely different. So you can't really do like, you know, like a rotation of, okay, there's 3 times the same thing. You know, I really wanna farm I don't know, rawhide now, right? And you try to find a sigil that has a rawhide on it, and you go in, and after 1 run it just changes to something else, and like, okay, like what now, you know? So I found that kind of stupid. I hope they changed that. It says to carry over. Well, let's say that. Okay, each Nightmare Dungeon affix stacks onto the next dungeons as you continue through its in tiers. So there's this here, I guess. But this was old text, this is not blue. And this is not how it works on a PDR. So maybe there was a bug on a PDR? Or maybe this is just not described properly. So I hope we're gonna get some clarification on that on Friday. I'm gonna try to like seek in a question maybe for the Q&A. That's important. So it's kind of cool. It's a cool pet. Maybe getting gaslight on the blue text. What was that again? Fuck, I have too many tabs open. I mean, I'm not sure what it was before. Please save us. I mean, you know, whatever changes they made, they are final now, right? So they're not gonna change anything at this point. So okay. So what is this here? It's just like an overview infographic, I guess. New reliquary rewards and battle pass. New loot. Okay, so just kind of like the little summary. Explore new and refreshed gameplay, guys. I really hope the Nightmare Dungeons feel more like escalating now, but we'll see. Log in. They're gonna blast for a bit at least. Let's see how it goes. I'll just check my plans a little bit. What do we have here? I made a lot of planners, turns out. We should check that. Yeah, I mean, the Spiritborn stuff. There were like some tweaks I wanted to make, but I think I'm gonna wait for the patch notes for that. I think most of the other stuff is probably kind of fine here. Hydra is definitely something I want to check out though, because I think I didn't rework that to a burning build yet. So that is definitely happening. Yeah, this is Asos right now. This needs to become a combustion and I need to rework this to burn. So that's something you can do. Agile Raft stuff. I have Barrage here, so this can be changed as well. Bone Splinters. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, I think. It's next week's on Tuesday, yes. Paragon 300 race, let's go. I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for that. On the other hand, I mean, you could do it in like 5 days or so, 6 days maybe. Definitely within the first week. But I would have to like convince the boys to stick around for that. And then I'm not sure if I want to. I think I wanna like start with Druid earlier than that already. It's gonna grant like 250 or so on a Spiritborn and then start a Druid or something. You've done Paragon 300 in the first week 3 times. Oh boy. 6 days of scrolling. Am I more hyped for Season 9 than I was about Season 8? Probably not. Because like Season 8 brought bigger changes and a bigger shakeup. And I like that. And I like Season 9 as well. but the change from Season 8 to Season 9 is not as large as from Season 7 to Season 8, I guess. So... maybe next year cool races of leaderboard. I hope so. I hope so. Okay. Let's check this out here. Let's work on the Hydra a little bit. Good thing I have notes here. So first of all, that needs to go, because we don't actually care about crit anymore. Invoked Hydra is not even what we're gonna run, right? Yeah, we'll do this. And I'm gonna need these other sets. Actually, which one will I go with? I think the Harlequin Crest. Because it was just kind of comfy. Here's Perdition. It didn't feel great when it didn't have cooldown. Here's Shroud. Shroud. What else was different here? Starless. Yeah, we're not doing that. And then Warglass. Oh my god. That's like for pushing. But it's really annoying. So basically, we're gonna delete all these. And only set one remains for now. And then we're gonna see if I do the other updates. Yeah, maybe we can keep that actually. Okay. So Flash Fire, we're not doing that. Do this. We need damage to burning targets. But there's a cap. Up to 100%. We almost have that cap. And damage to burning targets doesn't actually exist. So I guess you just get it from Paragons. Yeah, Engulfing Flames is very good. Actually, I wonder if they're gonna change the other pants, right? There's Tybalt's and there's the Axel Conduit. I know a lot of people are using Axel Conduit, but it's probably pretty close. Oh, this is fine. This is fine. Now the question is, do we care about battle casters? We do have the 4 ranks on the Shaco. We have the core ranks. I think this aspect is not as strong. Yeah, 15, that's gonna be 25 ranks. So it's like 240. It's like a 30% something upgrade maybe. 40. We can find something better. What can we? Yeah, I think I was kind of thinking about all of the incinerate aspects, but I don't actually run them here. So we might keep that, we only changed this one aspect. Oops. Attack speed does work to increase fire rate. Fire attack speed only increase cast speed. Oh. That is interesting. I'm not sure what I tested this with. Because I tried this attack speed stuff. And it felt like there was just no change, but maybe I only did the Pyromancer attack speed. I just put Hydra damage everywhere. Wait, are we on live or on PTR? Apparently this number was nerfed. So I guess he's just going for the Hydra damage. Just get like a bunch of additive there. That's a lot of C, Wonkas. Which one are you selling? So there's Bounding Conduit, or what else can we do? Mind's Awakening is mostly for the Frost builds. Orange Herald could be something. I was running this as well with like the Perdition setup. But you don't have that much like a hit here. But you can actually try. Wait a minute. Set on a Gizmo. Yes. I wonder if you can use that. Which one of those is the best lucky hit one? It doesn't even work with that actually. Can only happen once per skill cast, so it probably doesn't even work actually. Or maybe it does, I don't know. Have you tried this? Interesting Orcas. Okay, let's see some of the other changes here on the skill tree. So we need the burning stuff. Remove this. We keep that. Ah, they made this aspect into Endless Pyre. This used to be an aspect. Okay, we don't care about this. We don't care about that. We don't care about this very much, so this is fine. We actually just changed these 3 points. And is that it? It's kind of crazy how homogenized the Sorc is now. It's actually wild. Like, I literally changed 3 points from here to here and the key passive. And I don't really see that much else that I want to change. I could try to get those 2 points in there. I can take 1 out there. Maybe 1 from somewhere else. Like this DR or so. Get a bit of cooldown. Are we freezing anything? 35% increased damage while ice armor is active. I mean, we can have perma ice armor. Yeah, the orange Herald of Chaos Pass would be interesting to check actually, Panda, I think. Because there might actually be a lot of like hope to use that, right? With like the Gizmo double lucky hit, I don't know. Maybe it's nice. Did I enjoy the PvE1 league? Yeah, I actually had more fun than I anticipated in the PvE1. But maybe it was just because I hadn't played the game so long and I had a good build, you know, I blasted all the Uber bosses and so on, so it was fun. Since last time I was doing that like a year ago or something. Okay, what else do we change? I guess the Paragon needs to change a little bit. How about the Sam? Also the R, the summon thing, and the elemental thing. And I don't think we need that DR. That this thing already has 13,000 life with Shroud, Harlequin. Yeah, I don't think I care about the DR at all, really. So we can do Idle for the extra progression, extra loot. Now here's this. After you cast a catalytic skill, you get 30% attack speed. So if that attack speed works... Are you sure about that, Panda? Like, attack speed actually works? I guess I can log in and try it. Do I have a Sorc? One of my Sorcs died, but I want to see this actually. Log in. Let's see this. I cannot understand that, Alf. Is Polarized Druid going to be real this season with floating Lightbringer buffs? Yes. The buffs are pretty big, actually. It's not going to be like the best build out there or so, but it's going to be pretty solid. We do have a Sorc. Okay, let's check it. I hope I have obols. I guess I can... Can I craft items? I guess we'll see. Okay, attack speeds. Attack speeds. Take like Stardust or something. This is a sword. So you can also try Staff versus Dagger, for example. Not this one, apparently. You can also try to imprint, like, accelerating. There's no status. Pay attention to the number of spits. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did as well. And I tried attack speed and I didn't really see a difference. So I'm kind of surprised to hear this. Thanks, Vinar, for the sub. Oof. Where the hell is my status ring? Like, all these guys are like half geared. So which one has it? Like half the patch notes are out. Okay, 30 attack speed. Yeah, they didn't put the class changes in the patch notes, but the other changes are there. Like all the season stuff. Also general changes. Okay, we have attack speed. This is 20, 50, 65. Good enough for science. I'm gonna imprint this even with a accelerating. Okay. Wand, ice shards. So we have a crit there. That's my crit chance. 100, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Interesting. Let's start without accelerating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, I'm just looking at one head, and it could very well be that it combines all those bits from all heads together into one number. So I should try that actually. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see that actually. I'm gonna record this. So let's do like 3 casts with Hydra no ice shards, then 3 casts Hydra 1 ice shard, then 3 casts with Hydra kind of keeping it up, and then we're gonna do 3 casts without any attack space, and then we see what happens. So we have like 4 rounds, and then we just count on the replay. Actually, I wonder if like each head on the Hydra has like its own range, and there can be like a target outside of the range of one of the heads. Actually, what I should do is I should do an attack and then wait a few seconds like this and then do it, so that the accelerating buff is like almost over. Okay, let's take off all the attack speed. And then see that. Ah shit, actually I closed the CS, I didn't actually see it, so let's do this again. Okay. Let's check this out. So this was without, this was with the gear and without pressing ice shards. So let's see. I'm gonna put this to like half speed, I guess. 3, 4, 8, 12, 14, 17, 21, 25. Oh my god, the fucking... Oh my god. I can't pause this actually because then it's just gonna be pixelated. So let's do like a third speed. It's a lot of hits actually. It's gonna take a while. I think I'm gonna just count one of each, and then we'll see if there's like a huge difference. And then we can maybe look at more in detail. Yeah, come on. Okay, here it comes. 4, 8, 12, 14, 17, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 49 hits. Okay. So it's Hydra 2. Hydra 3. Now we're doing the ice shot stuff. But I'm gonna not count the first one. Okay. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this was 48, which is pretty much the same as before, with the accelerating buff running out exactly when I spawn the Hydra. So it looks like there's no snapshot there. It might be dynamic if there's a change. Okay, now this is a keep ice shards up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, this was 57. So we had 49, 48, 57 with keeping accelerating up. So that definitely seems sus. Now it comes to removing the gear part. A few double fireballs that I missed there. The headstanders cast on top of each other in the 48. Yeah, I could have been, but I didn't like 100% properly count it, right? It's just kind of like to get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, shit. That was the failed one. Okay, so it's again. Because I opened the inventory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They've all fired together. 17, 18, 19, 20, 1. So it was 41. So it's clearly slower. Okay, so we had 49, 48, 57, 41. And this was no ice shards accelerating. And then accelerating at the start, but not keeping it up. And then full accelerating, and then taking off like 60% attack speed. But I mean, we added 60% attack speed from gear or something like that. How much is it exactly? This is 50, 65%. So I added 65% attack speed. And I only got like 8 more hits. And from 41 to 49. It's like 20% extra. So it seems like attack speed does something. There might be like breakpoints involved or something like that. And, you know, maybe I just like went to some breakpoint, but not to the next one or something. Because you should get clearly more hits than that. I have barely no attack speed, basically. I think that's 7.5 here. It's a very odd formula if it scares the number of firebolts. Yeah, I guess it's just like, you know, some mildly randomized pattern or something. As long as the overall output increases by the expected amount, I think that's okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be important to learn, like, if there's a breakpoint, and then what is the breakpoint. It could very well be that there's a breakpoint. Like in Diablo 3, for example, there were like really massive breakpoints, and it kind of looks like it's the same here, where, you know, I might reach the breakpoint with, for example, just like 30% attack speed, and the other 30% attack speed just go completely to waste. So this was a very common thing in Diablo 3 for all of the pets. You know, all the pets had like insane ranges of breakpoints. That definitely checks out with what we have seen in Diablo 3. Scenes and listens and scale difficulty in Nightmare Dungeons? I'm not sure where you got that from. What makes you think that? Okay, let's try a just starters. And count again. And see if that, for example, is like 41 again or 49. Or it's like in the middle. Blizzard, give me melee Necro. Yeah, like real like Sever again or something would be cool. Or like Reap. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. What? The Hydras are already spawning and then suddenly the ball comes out. It was 43. That kind of weird. Okay, it was just like weird in slow motion, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, we should probably do sort of stuff, huh? You're right. We have the dagger there. Any stuff? Apparently not. Now so I need to get a firebolt out. Yeah, it looks like, you know, I just added like one attack speed item now, which is the biggest one, 30%. And I went to 43 hits, which is like a little bit higher than before. So maybe the attack speed just kind of like scales linearly, but just like not as much as it should or something. It's definitely a bit odd. Maybe attack speed is like a quarter of the value because there's 4 heads or something like that. That could be. I wonder if like reduce the number of heads that would change. Or if I add more heads, if that actually like cuts the value.
Until next time.
Yo, Ben, thank you so much for what's up. I am. Hope you too. You can try the Hydra heads here. Some lightning spears. Okay. Do I have muns? Actually, I have a lot of muns. So I get the Hydra heads. Actually, I have +4, which is actually double. So just out of curiosity, I wonder if it's actually like double the number of hits. Yo, Jacob, figures out, Brian. And the problem is we're changing our base type here from a sword which is 1.1 and this is a 1.2, so it's like 1.15 to a 1.0. But let's just see what happens. I guess I should just get another stuff and have one with highlights and one without, and we're just gonna see that. And then we're gonna try this with adding attack speed and without. Any weapon in the next class in PvE 2. I guess it's gonna be a Druid. Or maybe 2 even.
Until next time.
I mean, I wanted to bring out a Druid to kind of the Huntress and I didn't, so I guess that's gonna be the next. Alright. I'm stupid. I opened my inventory for no reason. Let's try this again. No ETA. ETA is August. I guess early August. Oh man, that's gonna be a nightmare to count this man. Definitely have to do this even slower. Okay, let's see. Definitely seems like more. Let me try it. Okay, so this is the one. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this was 32 hits. Holy. Okay. One, two, three. Oh my god, this is fucked up. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. One is just missing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. Okay, so it was 62. So it's basically exactly double as the other. I should have actually like just enabled the damage numbers, and this would have been easier to count than the actual bolts, because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if there's like 1 or 2 overlapping or something. But yeah, the extra heads definitely give us double the number of hits. But now the question is, if you add all this attack speed back, will we also have double the number of hits, or will it be less than double? So that's going to be what we're testing now. So we're going to try one with the extra heads, and then one without the extra heads. I think the Spawn Spiritborn is going to be the best build in Season 9. Yeah, it definitely looks like it right now. Hydra's further away from dying might be easier. Maybe. I'm not sure how far away I can put it though. I am curious though if I can put like individual heads out of range. So I'm gonna try this just for science. They seem in range. They seem in range. What's the range, man? It actually goes pretty far. Actually, you can have individual range, out of range. That's kind of funny. Okay, anyway. Okay, so it's with attack speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 44. So again, we added 60% attack speed, we got third more hits roughly. We went from 31 to 44. Okay, now the 8 heads. It's gonna be very slow. It's at 0.12 speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 86. Exactly double again. Okay. So there's no weird shenanigans like you have less attack speed bonus because you have more heads. More heads just means more hits. That's it. So I specifically tested this because the number of heads changes next patch, right? And I wondered if there was like some kind of interaction with like the number of heads. But it seems like that is not the case. So attack speed just seems to be like worse than normal. But it did go from 31 to 43. Which is like close to a 40% bonus. So attack speed is a good stat, but not as good as normal, basically. You will have extra attack speed here, on this thing actually. Now we should check this Pyromancy attack speeds. Actually I do have Pyromancy attack speed here. On this and on this. So I should probably try to do like a Pyromancy attack speed and a non-Pyromancy attack speed setup just to confirm that. The new place could have used that. Yeah, I mean, people are complaining that it's a burn build, and so people wanted to have like useful stats there. It seems like attack speed does something. Like, I think it's kind of sad, you know, I feel like they're trying to, like, give, like, all these, like, meta stats to a lot of these uniques. But the fun part about these uniques is that sometimes they force you to run the unique, and they could also force you to have interesting stats that you normally wouldn't go for on those uniques, right? For example, in the past, we had Ghost Devastating Grasp for Whirlwind Barb that had attack speed on it, and attack speed back then didn't work for Whirlwind. But I found this still to be a cool stat to have on that item because, well, normally you don't have attack speed, but now you do, and you're forced to run it. So it actually just, you know, it makes your leap faster, it makes your steel grasp faster, you know. There's like these little perks that you force people to have, which is kind of cool. Because normally you would just have like no attack speed, and then everything would just feel shittier. And like, you know, I feel like they're like just giving too many meta stats to all these uniques most of the time. Instead of some interesting stuff. Can I do a glove? I do ring. Well, that's the only thing we can do, so. Actually, we can also do stuff, so. Let's try this. Get some Pyromancy attack speed in here. I'm actually doing the wrong one. Can I have moon speed on a helm, God of life stat, or an amulet? Yeah, exactly, these kind of things. Like, you can make the unique as strong or as weak as you want with just numbers tuning anyway, right? But, you know, on a legendary, you know, we would never dream of you know, putting attack speed on a whirlwind barb back in the day or something like that, or putting like, you know, movement speed on a neck or something like that, you know, because you want to have more important stats, right? But on uniques, you can force people to have fun stats, right? That's basically the point. Because you force them to use that unique anyway, so you can just well force them to also have some fun with it. You know, sometimes you need to force people to have fun. Basically. That's what I'm saying. What's the most chill build to pull for late and mid game? I wouldn't call Death Trap very chill. I mean, it's like a very powerful build and stuff, but like, are you talking about like Season 8 or Season 9? Season 9, I guess Hydra is like a very chill build. That's also good. Or like the Necro minion stuff. Those are going to be like pretty chill builds. Okay, so let's take this stuff off here. And we have the nothing, and we have the attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. There's all pirates attack speed, no other attack speed. So let's see this. The guilt of having less DPS but ensuring a max movement speed the entire time in town. Yeah, fair. Okay. Would you like another calibration? Season 9 is on Tuesday. Okay, let's equip all of the pyromancy attack speeds. Okay, let's see it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 32. We saw that before. Ah shit, I missed the start here. Because I mispressed. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it was 32 and 33, right? So yeah, it looks like what Panda said is true. So pyromancy attack speed does nothing, but normal attack speed does work, but at a reduced rate. I'm not sure what breakpoints though. Watch all this change after patch, yeah, of course. Hey, Hasby. Only 5 to go, uh-oh. And then stop forever. Appreciate the 64 hours, man. Is Necro or Sorc gonna be the best class to play next season? No and no. But I mean, they're both probably be pretty good, especially with minion builds. Hydra is gonna be good. Necro minions is gonna be good. Necro has a bunch of strong builds. And Sorc late game always gets really fast as well with teleport and stuff. The second attack speed cap does nothing. It does. So I think this might be something Pyromancy attack speed specific. So Panda said that it apparently speeds up the cast, but it doesn't speed up the attacks of the Hydra. But for example, earlier I had accelerating aspect, which is cap 2, and that actually did increase the number of hits I was doing by a little bit. Conjuration attack speed on Paragon. I guess you could check that, but that probably has like very small values now. Like how big are the values for that even? Wait, is that on a glyph or is that on the board? It's on a board, right? Do we even have that? No, I don't think I have this on this character right now. Wait, where is that even? Conjuration attack speed. I see this. One of the top builds in Season 9. Now, best all-rounder is gonna be Death Trap again. Strongest is gonna be a bunch of stuff on Spiritborn. With the Balazan pants especially. And then, yeah, Hydra is going to be pretty solid. Minions, Blood Wave, Blood Spear. Actually, is that still Blood Spear these days? Or is it like Shadow Spear now? Wait, how does that even work? What else? Earthquakes. Yeah, the meta is relatively unchanged besides Spiritborn and the Hydra stuff, I guess. It's just that it's closer. Anyway, let's fix this planner here finally. So we have attack speed here, we're gonna have attack speed there. Hydra hits. Now the thing is, do we still scale the crit damage? No, right? Burning effects to increase damage. Yeah, so this is not happening actually. So this needs to be just damage over time. And then this Searing Heat needs to go. And we have Invocation here, which is a dex glyph of Conjuration skills have crit damage, Conjuration damage. Yeah, we don't actually go for those, huh? So it needs to be some other glyph here. We do Burning Instinct. Damage increased by 20% of your fire. Damage of fire bonus plus 2% for every 30% int. So I need 70% from int, you need 35 times 30 int. So you need like 1000 int to cap this. Without anything else. Okay. That's hilariously low. And we do, I guess, some burning stuff here. Pyromaniac. It's pretty good. Torch. It's even better. 25%! Oh my god. That is actually a lot. I kind of want that. Can do both. I kind of want to keep Unleash, I have to say. Yeah, I think I'm gonna drop this, right? Because it just has a secondary that does nothing. Let me also drop this. I mean, it has a really good primary and a really good legendary bonus. Is there any benefit of critting though? No. Because we don't even have the attack speed here, right? Crit buff. That's burning greater than Flatfire, still a way to go. Yeah, they made burning even better, so burn was already like way more powerful, like 10 tiers more powerful, and it's just a bigger gap now. When will Max not be updated? Yeah, starting Saturday. Okay, what do we have here? Lots of int, lots of dex. That's actually a big dex sport. That's good. He has increased damage to burning targets. It's only 250% damage to burning. Where's that coming from? Main hand and Endless Pyre. Does the damage over time count for this? Oh. Really? What? I guess so. Bleeding, poisoning, and so on. It's like the same as non-physical, giving you like fire, lighting, and so on. But does it actually do that? I want to see this. We are under the impression that Gizmo power was nerfed, so burning would suck. Nah, you were not even going to use Gizmo, I think. So it's fine. Like, you have this effect here. You're gonna have 4 ranks of this to get 100% extra damage, while enemies are affected by more burn than their total life. So as soon as that happens, they just die anyway, basically. So you don't really care about this Gizmo stuff. And you actually have like a downside that you're gonna remove the burn. And for example, this aspect here is just gonna not function properly. So you don't actually want to use the Gizmo. And you lose one of the gems, right? So what did I want to do now? The damage to burn stuff. Let me see. Damage with burning. Why does it give me 144? It's 24% more than it should be. But it probably has some weird, like, I have like fire damage bonus somewhere, I guess. And that probably translates into that as well or something. Or like a dot bonus or something, non-physical bonus. So I think this is why. Although bleeding is also 144. And that's clearly physical. So I'm not sure where exactly that's coming from. Ah wait, there's 28 on the implicit, I forgot about that. Okay, so that's 144. Okay. Yeah, so that's actually how it works. So you just need like one roll of damage over time and that's it. And you don't need anything else to cap this. That's kind of funny. Alright, so what is it? Torch? Pyromaniac? Flame Feeder is a dex one. Non-physical damage. This one is pretty good. Okay, can we move like another nice next? Okay, here's like a willpower one. So that was Torch. Increased burning damage. Let's put that here. Conjurer we probably want to remove. Although 124 int is a lot of int. Wait, what? This thing still has crit damage on it. They didn't change that on the burning board. So they removed all this like crit stuff, but this is still here. Oh my god. And this as well. Oh my god. Dude, they're actually gonna be a giga fucking tank though with this. And this. And this. Wait, what? There's 3 times damage reduction on this board. Okay, you win some, you lose some, I guess. So it is kind of wild though. I want to try the Flame Feeder and not take the board there. Small indie company. So we want to like not path through the center somehow. How the hell do we do this? I think you kind of have to like path out here and out there. And from one of them we take the legendary. It's very far though. So you probably don't path out there. Ugh. 2, 4, 6, 7. We also have like these exits here in both directions. So I don't think we have enough for like enough boards basically. Yeah, I know. Thanks for the raid, Rob. Welcome, guys. Yeah, I'm like I'm working on Hydra Sorc right now. I've been doing a bit of testing earlier, like trying the mechanics of attack speeds and these kind of things. Now we're making a planner right now, which I had prepared already from the PTR, but I need to like fix it. So I'm doing that right now. But yeah, I've been going like through the patch notes that we have at least so far. There's a bunch of interesting stuff, and I'm kind of like preparing the setups right now. I am excited, yes. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I feel like I played a lot of D4 lately. Like Season 8 was kind of so short, and I actually played a lot of it. But I'm definitely ready for more. I'm gonna start Spiritborn, most likely. Spiritborn into Druid. That's the plan. And then, let's see. Definitely want to try some of the new builds. You know, they're kind of cool, like the Hydra stuff is cool, but I'm probably going to do Sorc later. Druid, yeah, the polarized stuff is going to be cool. But yeah. Druid will be strong, Copium. Yeah, I mean, polarized is not going to be like a top tier build, but it's going to be a solid build at least. So as like a second character, when you already have a bunch of Paragons and so on, it's going to be totally fine. While they're changing polarize, yeah, they giga buffed the weapon. They effectively took like almost one-to-one all the suggestions I gave. So it should be pretty solid the way I imagine it to work. The puddlerize, exactly. You want to start Barb? Yeah, it's also good. Lunging Strike, 44 farming, it's going to be a really nice build. And who knows, maybe they're going to buff it even slightly. and you can even like do like the bosses and stuff easily. So if you get to the point where you can actually just like blast down the T4 bosses with lunge, that'll be nice. But even if you can't, you know, you can do it with Earthquake. I've not tried PD2 yet, but I will at some point. Will there be additional class balance changes after Campfire? Yeah, there will be a lot of class balance changes, I think. Dude, this fucking Burning Instinct board is messed up, dude. Like, this is just fucked, I gotta say. I don't know what to do here. This looks scuffed. Because you kind of don't want to path. I mean, you can path for the middle, I guess. There is still some additive here. Maybe it's gonna path for the middle anyway, because this is just messed up. And we don't have to do like this shitty pathing here. This is like a lot of points. So maybe it's gonna go for the middle. Let's make a variant. Let's see. Let me just like try to dodge the crit things. Like that. You'd probably come this way. I can also drop this there. Yeah, I think it's path for the middle anyway. Although this is 3 points left now. And we got 10, 50, 60, 70 more additive. Which is like, I don't know, 2-3% or something. Can we change something here? Not really. Finalizing Sorc is 6-7 billion hits. Earthquake, Twister, Pet is like 500 billion. Yeah, I mean, for Torrent 4, you know, 5 billion DPS is plenty. You can get away with like 1 or 2 billion DPS and you just kind of like one-shot everything besides, you know, T4 bosses basically. So, that's okay. You know, if you had like 5 billion plus DPS, you're chilling in T4. I think you just have to like recognize the fact that we all have speed farm builds and we're gonna have push builds and they're not the same. And that's it. You know? And lunge is gonna be really good for T4. So I don't really see that as a problem. It has its niche, and that's okay. If you can't give lunge 500 billion DPS, you know? Like, that's just not... That doesn't check out. Because of how mobile it is. Yeah, endgame build of Pet and Earthquake is stupid. Yeah, I agree, it would be time for a change. But I guess that's not the season for a change, unfortunately. I was gonna hit like all of the bonuses anyway. I think we do, right? Yeah, easily actually. Okay. That was like one of the lists that we changed. Unleash, this is fine. Tactician, do we want to change that? It's a pretty good one. Torch. We need willpower here, so let's see this. Shit. Is default back or it's over? Well, I mean, it's kind of like as back as it can be with just like a small season update versus an expansion. We're kind of in expansion waiting mode if you have played a lot since the last expansion. Do we need that armor? No. Okay. So the thing has 640 conjuration damage. And then a 14% on legendary effect. And what's the next best glyph we can put here? We have Torch, there's Pyromaniac. We kind of want Pyromaniac though. It's 18% on secondary, it's kind of good. 18% and 10% and a rare bonus. This has 40%, a lot of primary bonus. How much do we have? Let's check that a little bit. Paladin waiting room, yes. Yeah, I also think Gamescom is likely for a reveal. Okay, so we have 100, 200, 900, 1400, 1550, 16, 2.3, 2.8, 2.9, 3.3, 3.3k-ish. And then the primary factor here means it's like something like a 20% upgrade. It's like 20, 0, and 14. Whereas, let's say we put Pyromaniac here. Because always save a lot of points. And then we have 250, 270 instead of 660. So it's like minus 400. So that is like a loss of maybe 12%. But we have 10 and 18. What's the other one? Dude, it's like almost the same actually. What the fuck? That's actually so close. Oh my god. Okay. So the question is, what's the advantage here? We get 5 points though, so that is an advantage, I'd say. We have the disadvantage though, we need to stack it. We need to cast something every 6 seconds. Do we do that? I guess you do cast a Hydra every 6 seconds generally, right? Thanks Lawrence, and by the way, for the Prime. You celebrated the idea of how gorgeous Paladin skillset can look and feel in the Out of Force engine? Yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I just wonder what they're gonna do with auras and so on. If, like, you know, they have like some kind of like, you know, an interesting new system to like use auras somehow. Like they did like a pretty poor job with the laws for the Crusader in Diablo 3, for example. But maybe they're gonna do it better here. Every 2-3 seconds you should have full mana. Yeah, it's not about having the full mana every 2-3 seconds, it's about, are we casting the Hydra every 6 seconds? And I guess the answer is yes, generally. Because we also want to get stuff like mana shield, for example, right? And the Hydra lasts 10 seconds. So you kind of want to cast one every 5. So I think it's gonna be fine with a 6-second timer. Have I considered plugging Paragons into AI to improve the pathing? I have not, and I doubt I will try that. Okay, so now we have like random points basically. We can remove this, we can remove that. Can I potentially path different here? Yes. I know it's like 11 points left, I guess. I mean, there's like a rest you can take or something, but we should have so much in, we don't care. We're like 10 overcapped already with no rolls anywhere, so. And this means even with like much less int, I think it's like 100 int is 2.5. Is that right? No, it's 2 per 100. Okay, so we can have minus 500 int and we're still fine. And even if I have less int on that, I can just take these 2 points. So we're chilling with the rest. And that's also here. Okay. I guess you can take this here, even though this is crit. But there's like a bunch of extra additive you can grab. Because why not? Does that help us in any way? No. Okay. Conjuration damage. It's gonna be so tanky, this build, actually. It's kind of crazy how tanky this is. Because they have the Burning Instinct board. And it just has like here Giga DR, and here as well. There's so much DR, man. You just get like 2 DR aspects for free. And we run a Shaka too for the extra resource. And then potentially we're even gonna run the Exile Conduit, right? I should actually check that. Why is there so many tables? So like this, yeah. 87%. That's a lot. And some DR. How much max mana is this? 290. And that is 198. Yeah, Exile is definitely better. Here you get a 20% damage buff. This is kind of irrelevant. And we don't have that very often. Yeah, Exile is definitely a better option, I think. Unless they nerf it, which I doubt. I would remove the undersay Paragon ones, like the orange ones. Nice. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, I mean, we'll get there at some point where I will be replaced by an AI. But realistically, I don't think we get there just yet, so. Is this like the pure Hydra build that Rex tried out? I have no idea what Rex tried, to be honest. Was Season 9 Sorc or Spiritborn? Definitely Spiritborn for me. But I will try the Hydra build as well. At least like farming wise, it's kind of cool. Just like teleport, Hydra. It reminds a bit of the Typhon speed farming in Diablo 3. Teleport, Hydra. For pushing, it gets pretty boring pretty fast, I feel. But farming is kind of cool with this. Okay, I think this is actually it here for our Hydra Sorc. Can I put those 3 points somewhere? Can I say I have those 3 points left over and I don't know what to do with them? I don't really see anything that you would like care about. Like there's like this random crit damage nodes that, you know, we don't need for anything. We can't reach this here, and this is just a bunch of dodge. Yeah, well. I guess just leave a few points there. Yeah. I like it. I'm gonna make like a non-mythic version and stuff as well. But realistically, both these don't really do that much. Like, you know, anything special for the build. It's just like, okay, it's better than having a legendary or something. And that's about it. The cooldown is kind of comfy though, and the armor helps a bit to like, cap this out. I can just put an armor roll and a normal helm or something. It's mostly gonna make you very tanky, but you're already tanky anyway. Now I'm gonna make into patch notes before I do this. Hello Sophie. I'm planning to start a Spiritborn and then go to Druid, Rogue, Sorc, or something like that. I think I might skip Necro. Necro's not really like changing besides the minion stuff, and I don't care much about it. And Barb. Maybe I do a Barb as well for the lunge. It's gonna be fun. Pretty zoomy. Yo, thanks for Prime. Hanger too. Which build is this here actually? This is the Azure Wrath. Okay. So this is like the Barrage version. What's the difference on a push? There's a dash. And there's a poison trap. Okay. And we have different runes. Ahu Quox, Tam Cry, Ahu Jar, Penitent, Umbrus, Project Fiora, Vermin Brawler. Let's see, that's high velocity. Okay. think the setups are all very similar. Like close quarters, it's 9% bonus. Fist of Fate. There wasn't really that many changes. I think the Twisting Blades version ran with normal boost instead of penitent. And that's about it, I think. Do we just not have any use for these points? I have 24 points left. Here's Deadly Ambush. Can we get something else? This doesn't work now. No, no. There's Cheap Shot, but you don't really want to. Okay. Yeah, seems like this is just it. Lux Shikari, thank you for the 9 months as well. Do you need to snapshot Druid anymore? If you play Cataclysm, you still do the provocation snapshot. But I don't think we're gonna see a lot of people playing Cataclysm, because Cataclysm was pretty nerfed. And overpower, I mean, it's not like nerfed to the ground. It's like a pretty common scaling feature, but yeah, not everyone is gonna go for it anymore. Like, you know, the Sorcs and this kind of stuff. It's not happening anymore, most likely. Yeah, Pulv is not snapshotting anything. Pulv is just walk in and you destroy. Can I not run control for this? Not really. We kind of rely on, like, CCing enemies, I think. Okay. What do you mean, Ninja? Let's do a pension version of this, which is really not much different, I guess. So we do pen this, and then the knockdown. Need 1 point from somewhere. Like this. We have vulnerable here. High velocity, so this becomes trick shot, I guess. Okay, Ninja. Druid, lol. Uh-oh. What is that? No.
So let
Have
me
a look.
click.
Oh. This was our PvP stuff, right? Wait, okay, what's going on here? No. Now Danger walks in and he's cataclysm one off screen.
Well, you're about to get hit off screen.
Lord there walking in.
Yeah, the hurricane just wins.
Dude, he just like soloed everyone. Look,
Look
look at that. Oh god, man. We have to do this again. Actually, this was good stuff. We should do like a PvP weekend again. Fucking Druid, man. Just one-shotting everyone. With his cataclysm. Look at that.
Well, you're about to get hit off screen.
Look at the Barb there walking in.
Yeah, the hurricane just
Yeah,
wins.
bam, bam, bam. Everyone dies. Oh god. Good stuff. Alright. Yeah, it was fun. We definitely have to do it again. Okay, I think actually not that much changes here. I also want to rename this here. Sharaf, Barrage. And let's do a TB version of this. So this needs a little bit more changes. So most importantly, we remove this. Slice and dice. Dressing lights returns faster. Do we need like res or something? Nope. We do, I guess, just Dex life. What's our movement here? Hmm. We have too much move speed. And actually what I did here is I think I used pen shot anyway. Right. Right. And honestly, I mean, you do proc a lot of like a hit with that pen shot. So it's actually not such a terrible thing. But we do this. And then we put TB here. Do we go for the days? We have smoke. But don't care about the cooldowns, so I guess we do days anyway. And now we do twisting. Cast twice. I think this was largely it. 1,000, 1 armor, beautiful. Seems like the move speed per Dark Shroud Shadow does not actually count here. Is this music me, or did I make a new album? We still had the same, like, 5 albums that we had for a while now. So this is not my music right now, but a bunch of the songs are sprinkled in. Okay, the question is how do we get the alchemical advantage now? I guess we have to do poison smoke. Not much else I can do about that, but that's okay. And you have to like fine tune the attack speed breakpoints a little bit. I have to check that. And otherwise this looks fine here. And I think I'm actually gonna go for the poison trap. It's like the same stuff. Like there's not really a lot of like variety. If anything I could like not run the caltrops. And then not run Deadly Ambush. That's a good idea, I think. So we can go dash, shadow step. We also CC stuff a lot more. So let me try that. New variant. We put cheap shots. I have a lot of armor already. We can put Canny here anyway. This one is very far, we can kind of leave it. This is 5 points. 5 points. 5. 5. 5. Okay, so it's always the same anyway. So just this. And only here would be 4, but we actually need 4 12 points to even reach that one. So together this is 9 points to get 1 int node and exit. So that's kind of costly. Which will be doable at 300, so you can like get that one thing there, but whatever, I think. Here we had 24 points left, here we have 7. But we have a lot more defense, I guess. This is 18.3k life. That's 16.2. We have the damage reduction from threat enemies, which is not going to be very high uptime. And here we have the DR from elites, which is very nice. And the extra life. So it's definitely much more defensive. So I think it's a good idea to go for cheap shot here. It's also melee build. And then we can easily swap in dash. Okay, so we remove this. And then we don't need the caltrops. The question is, how do we get... Wait, we chill anyway. Okay, we don't need that chill stuff. So we do this. We do this. What's our crit here? Okay. Do we care? The 1 extra point? It's not a bad idea. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the idea, actually. Cry, Ahu Quox, Ahu Jaw. Okay. I have to do a few other tweaks. No poison trap here. Yeah, I think this is it. Let's check the breakpoints here. Attack speed. Okay, Tracing Blades. 3.2 is 10 frames. We can hit that, right? Let's see. So how much attack speed do we have here? Okay, like advantage. 35. 50. Okay, so the caps are fine. We can also put cutthroat attack speed somewhere, I suppose. We have Dark Shroud. We have a sword and a dagger. So we need 79% in cap 2. So we have to do like a roll. Oof. Okay, how do we do this? It's too close. Move this to that. Let's do cutthroat. Can you do it on other slots? Not really. It's still 90. What if I remove this? 89. Okay, so you kind of need this. Okay, so it works out. Barely. Now there's also Druid here with the Rotting Nightbringer. I wanted to check that again. I'm not 100% sure if the Shockwave will work, but we'll have to see. Any new announcement next campfire? It's on Friday. Okay, we're doing 10 shots. Just double checking this. Seems fine. Ah, shit. I have this thing here. But it was cap 1 attack speed, if I remember correctly, right? So it wasn't really useful. I have to change that in all of them. So we can do idle from below, I guess. Or this. You have plus 1500% damage of amulet. Does it say plus 1500 or does it say 1500 total, basically? Because you have 100 base and then 14 heads. Maybe you're missing one head from like the skill itself. There's also one. Why did dog all classes at 110 pit instead of 150? What's the point of 150? Well, the point is that there's like some infinite difficulty to push against for like, you know, people that wanna do that. And also, I mean, 150 is, you know, ridiculously far away from all other content in the game. You know, even 100 is ridiculously far above everything else in the game, right? Like 150 is immeasurable numbers, basically. So you have Scornful right already, right? Okay. So I guess let's do idle from below. We have the unhindered, which is actually kind of nice. You can just walk through stuff, which is comfy for sure. Okay. And the barrage. Same story here. we wanted to get the attack speed breakpoint for pen shots. Can we reach that? 3.22. 3-0. So 193% attack speed. I don't think we're gonna hit that. Are we? We have 150. So we probably have to go for this. Let's see this one. It still seems like a lot. That is okay. What about this? I guess I could add some alternative here. It's 135. So let's do this. So 145 is doable with no alchemical advantage ranks. Okay. Let's do the same for Barrage. So Barrage is here. It looks like it's the same breakpoint actually. 258. It's exactly 45%. And then what about this? That seems like more, right? Can we even hit that? We need 9 ranks and alchemical advantage. So realistically, we just don't go for alchemical advantage here, right? On the Barrage version. Because just go for all the frigid finesse, because you would have to get 9 ranks here. 5 ranks on the next, so we'd have to do like yellow alchemical advantage and you lose 2 on frigid. That's probably not worth. Wait, is that correct? 135? 15, 20, yes. So we're gonna change this here to can do unstable or malice. Do we have any knockdowns? He has knockdowns, or maybe. Okay, and Twisting Blades. Okay. I think we kind of got it figured out here. Is that it? Let's delete this one here. Let's delete this one. I'm not sure about the flay stuff, to be honest. I think we don't care. Lunch it is. Hydra. There's a lot of stuff here. Do I have Death Trap already made, actually? Did I do that? Okay. The consensus on top classes. I mean, everyone's gonna be pretty strong, besides Druid is lagging behind a little bit, it seems. But we don't have the class changes now, so they might buff some stuff as well. We'll see. But right now, Spiritborn looks like the strongest by far. Well, Crushing Hand. Yeah, I don't really get out of T4 with Crushing Hand. So, the all-power nerf definitely hurt it a bit. Is Barrage good? It's like a bit on the weaker end of the rogue builds, but it's alright. You can probably push to like close to 90 or so on Barrage with the Azure build, at least. Like Azure Twisting Blades is like the strongest version of this, and it's pretty close with Pen Shot. They're both like somewhere like 90, mid 90, and then Barrage is like a little bit behind that, like maybe 85 to 90, somewhere in that range. Yeah, the polarized changes are pretty strong, I think, but we have to see exactly how it plays. Do I have like a Balazan Fresh version here actually? I have Balazan Quill, Balazan Rake. Did I make that plan or did I just play that? Not sure. Rake, Thorns, Quill Volley. Seems like I didn't make it yet, so I just played it. Okay. Balance on Spiritborn. Okay, so I need to make the fresh. But I think I'm gonna wait until Friday for that. Because they might do some other changes on the class. Yeah, Death Trap is pretty insane. Alright guys, I'm gonna go though. Short stream tonight, but I'll be back earlier tomorrow. But I have some stuff to do. So we have like another day of like, you know, prepping stuff. I'm just gonna get like most of the planners already in order basically so that we can like fix them more quickly and the patch notes go live. Yo. Thanks for all this up today, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. So let's raid someone. Is anyone of our boys online, maybe? No. Okay. Getting ready to to PoE boys. It's gonna raid rocks. So let's go. Have a good one, guys.